Hello and good Tuesday night to you. I'm Hugh Keeton here live in the WLOX Digital Desk, and as you saw on the graphic there, we're talking about the coast life and all of the fantastic things that make the coast life so special. And if you followed us over the last several months, these coast life stories feature the culture and people that make this, as I said, a special place to live here in South Mississippi. And our first stop tonight, as we look back on the stories that aired during August, we're going to visit Pascagoula. And at the start of the school year, if you have students in high school or this kind of thing, you know that they might be introduced to foreign exchange students to start the school year. And I caught up with a family who is getting pretty good at welcoming foreign exchange students. They have made it a tradition to welcome students from around the world into their home. And let's go to Pascagoula now. This is our first stop on the Coast Life August tour, and we're looking at foreign exchange students in Pascagoula.
We absolutely love it.
Scott Jones and his wife Jessica went searching for a life on the coast, and 6 years ago moved to Pascagoula from South Dakota.
Mississippi is just a unknown little gem down here on the coast. The people are absolutely amazing. The pace of life is great. It was all the things we were looking for when we moved here.
Now the Joneses are sharing their love of the area with students from the other side of the world.
Just seen a post on Facebook and decided it would be a great opportunity for everybody.
They started opening their home to foreign exchange students.
I've had a dream about going to school here.
Freya Christensen's dream of learning in America is now reality. She's from Denmark and joined in the Joneses' home by C from Thailand. She goes by C because it's a little easier for Americans to say and spell than her actual name.
Ariyapanautaecha.
Okay. And pronounce it again for me.
Ariyapanautaecha.
C and Freya have just started the school year at Pascagoula High.
I was very excited.
The hospitality is standing out.
I find people very kind. People stop me on the hallways and just like, how was your day going? I'm like, okay, we're doing this.
But living in a new place does take some getting used to.
It's very different here. You guys eat a lot of seafood.
This is the third straight year the Joneses have hosted foreign exchange students. Each one brings a new perspective.
We had a student from Italy, and her first football game, when she saw the marching band, she just cried. So everything that she saw that was new was just so overwhelming and exciting to her.
The students aren't the only ones getting new experiences. Being a host family also opens new doors for the Joneses.
It definitely keeps the house very active and keeps us active.
Through different school programs that our kids have been involved in, we've gotten to know more teachers and faculty at the school, more students, been involved in different activities such as sports and debate and whatever else it may be. So it's been great just getting to know other families and the school better itself.
And when Freya and C go back home, they can tell the story of what life is like on the Mississippi coast.
Every day is new and every day is an experience, and it's a moment in their life that hopefully they never forget.
And so that is a look at this family. They welcome in foreign exchange students every year. They've been doing it for the last several years, and the program they use to get the foreign exchange students into their home is called the Pan-Atlantic Foundation. Right here's that website, so if you are interested in taking up foreign exchange students yourself, you could look up Pan-Atlantic Foundation there, and they have the information for you that you can look into if you're interested in doing that. And when you're welcoming students from around the world into any school district, it helps improve the culture and everything, so that's good to see. And it looked like those students there were having a good time in their first few days in Pascagoula. All right, and remember, you can always see these Coast Life stories every Monday night during the 10 o'clock newscast as we take a look at different aspects of culture here in South Mississippi. And you can always follow us on our WLOX digital channels. That's where we are right here. You can get this on your smart TV WLOX apps. We have the apps on Roku TV as well as Fire Stick. So if you're if you're seeing this on WLOX.com or the news app, keep in mind you can get our WLOX app also on your smart TV. Okay, our next stop on our August Coast Life tour takes us to Pass Christian, and we're going to meet a harmonica, blues musician. He has a good time and he's keeping the blues and the art of harmonica playing alive.
I love to play harmonica.
Shannon Williford doesn't go anywhere without his harmonica and is always ready to play.
It's a way to pass around smiles. You know, when I do that at a restaurant or something, just because I happen to hear somebody, it's their birthday, everybody's laughing, everybody's smiling. It's just a funny thing. A lot of people say harmonica is very close to the human vocal range, and therefore it has an emotional effect on people when they hear it, you know.
Long before Williford was busy playing at bars, restaurants, and events around the South, he first picked up the instrument as a child.
I said, oh, I don't want to be a musician. It's hard. You know, I don't want to play piano. Oh, it's hard. But a harmonica, well, that doesn't seem like it would be too hard. And I started hanging out in these juke joints, and one thing led to another.
It led to an onstage partnership that transformed his identity into what he calls the genuine fake Cajun.
He introduced me on stage. He says, yeah, here you come. He come all the way up here from the swamp. He come, it's Shannon Bayou. And afterwards I said, man, look, I'm a guy from Mississippi that went down to Louisiana and learned to play music, but I'm not a Cajun. You're a Cajun. He said, look, we playing this music up here. You a Cajun too.
As Shannon the Bayou, living in Nashville, he recorded multiple music tracks. Now, on most days, he takes it easy while still playing his harmonica on his porch in Pass Christian.
I love it here. This is my home happy place.
The happy place is on a property his parents first introduced him to as a beach getaway many years ago.
When I'm getting ready to play a gig, and if I'm nervous at all, I can just shut my eyes and think of sitting on my pier with the waves going and the wind blowing, and I'm relaxed, you know.
The harmonica is a constant in Williford's life, but the same can't be said for many.
It's a lost art. It's a lost thing. It seems like there's just less and less people playing the instrument.
He's doing his part to bring the harmonica back with blues in schools. Williford leads musical demonstrations in schools and libraries.
It led to most all American popular music, and I think children need to know that they're standing on sacred musical ground.
While he's teaching,
I'm gonna let it shine.
Shannon the Bayou keeps creating his own musical notes.
I just love to play. It brings me great joy and satisfaction. It ain't nothing but a hound dog, Hugh.
And there he is, Shannon the Bayou Williford. He has a good time. You can see him playing. He usually stays busy at different events and restaurants or bars around the coast. Just search his name, Shannon Bayou Williford. If you're interested in seeing him play, he does stay busy and pretty regularly. You can find a location where he's playing his harmonica, and he'll even teach you how to play the harmonica as he is looking to get into more schools and libraries and teach young people how to play the harmonica to keep that art form going. Okay, our next stop on our Coast Life tour for August, we're going to go to Wiggins. And we all need water. We all are looking for the freshest water we can find. And well, in Wiggins, there is a family that's bottling what they say is the purest water you'll find anywhere. Let's take a trip now to check out End Bay Water in Wiggins.
End Bay spring water is a natural spring water that has been quenching the thirst of local inhabitants for thousands of years. Collectively, 3,800 gallons a minute seep out of this hillside that flow into Red Creek, Pascagoula, and then the Gulf.
Just about a year ago, Tracy Batson and her husband Shep Batson started packaging the spring water.
It is as pure as you can get, and if you'll just taste it and try it, we do nothing to it. God made it that way. We just put it in a bottle. Our motto is let our legacy douse your thirst.
Shep Batson's ancestors first found the spring in the early 1800s, settled the land around it, and called it End Bay. 8 generations later, the family still lives on the property a few miles outside of Wiggins. Now, the bottling facility worked by Shep, Tracy, and 2 other employees is turning a decades-old dream into a reality. They plan to package 2.5 million bottles of water this year.
It is completely untouched by man. It never even hits air. It comes out of the ground into our facility, into the bottle, and is sealed. We do nothing to it. It runs through several filters, and it is protected against bacteria. That's required by the state, and that is it.
We're hand stacking right now.
The Batsons stack their water up against all others.
And to give you an idea, the premium water that you have access to is 10 and 15 times more with impurities than Enda Bay.
The water is poured and packaged into recyclable bottles also made in the Stone County facility. Along with selling the water in local stores, the Batsons partner with businesses and offer unique packaging labels like these you can find in the Island View Casino. What they sell is an essential product, and they plan on doing whatever they can to take Enda Bay water from Wiggins to around the globe.
The access to natural spring water is just, it's a fad that is not going to go out of style. It's going to become more and more precious. It's just one of those that you have to try it, and once you try it, you'll just understand that it is a very clear, pure, delicious water.
So that is Enda Bay water, and it is bottled right there outside of Wiggins. And I'm told that within the last few weeks, since the time that story aired, that Rouse's in Gulfport got a big shipment of the water. So if you're looking for it, you want to taste it yourself, I'm told it is available at the Rouse's in Walmart. It's also available at several stores across South Mississippi. So be on the lookout for it. They're trying to grow and move into more stores and locations as well. If you want to learn more about Enda Bay water, you can find it on their website, and that is endabayspringwater.com. On their website, they have the information about what the water is, how they bottle it, and the history of the property there, the products they offer, and you can keep up to date with them, and also contact information there if you had any questions about Enda Bay fresh spring water. And it is some good stuff there, and it's good to know that you can find fresh spring water from right here in South Mississippi. So these are the kind of stories that you'll find here on our Coast Life segment that you can watch every Monday night during the 10 o'clock news. And now we're going to check in at Center Stage Theater in Biloxi, where there is the man who designs the sets for the plays they have in there in the theater actually spent a long time in Hollywood making sets for some of the most well-known shows and movies out there. And I caught up with him. His name is Tim Baker, and this is the next step on our Coast Life tour. And let's go to Center Stage Theater in Biloxi.
I've been working at this for 40-some years, doing sets and lights. We have another door to put right in the middle here.
Most of those 40 years, Tim Baker spent in Hollywood.
I've built stuff for the Oscars and the Emmys, the Grammys.
Baker has designed and built sets for hundreds of movies and shows, including The Entourage and Castle.
If budget and time are willing, I can make anything. So if we need to do a giant helicopter flying down from the top, we'll figure out a way to make it work. Now it's all about smoothing everything out. I did a 40-foot tree for the Grammys that was pretty insane. It had to be 40 foot tall and just about almost as wide, and that's a lot of steel and sculpting and foam to be flying in and out with actors around and stagehands around. So I built some really big things.
With those projects comes big time commitments.
The film work is really exhausting. The hours are crazy. A minimum day is 12-hour day.
After decades of those long days combined with a life-threatening accident, Baker started looking for a slower pace. He reconnected with his college girlfriend and about 5 years ago moved to where she was living on the Mississippi coast.
This is that door for the middle, right?
It didn't take long for him to discover a door he could open and still use his special talents.
I think one of the first weeks I was here, I saw a show here and then started coming in, and I've been the designer ever since.
Baker's creativity is on display for every production at Center Stage Theater in Biloxi. It may not be Hollywood, but that doesn't mean his creations are less elaborate.
Then all the props have to be made as well, and a lot of those they're gaffed props, they're tricks. So the knives have to be able to squirt blood on the neck, and the chair that he sits in, he has to be able to pull the lever, and they have to shoot down through the floor. So all the mechanics and the welding and all that stuff has to be figured out ahead of time.
Tim's gone from his work being seen around the world back to where it all started for him, in a small local theater. and that's just the way he wants it.
It's just as creative and fun, but there's the pressure is much less than on film production, so it gets crazy. There's a lot of screaming in film production, and there's almost none in theater, almost.
He's not just getting to continue what he loves, Baker is also passing along his tricks of the trade. He works with school productions and aspiring set builders.
In film, you really get to know all of those, all of the cutting edge materials and techniques, and to bring those here and use them in theater is really fun.
And when the curtain opens, Baker can sit back and enjoy what he's pieced together.
This is just hard work, you're hammering, nailing, sanding all day long. It's not, it's not the most fun thing in the world, but I do love when you get the finished set and the audience sees it for the first time and they gasp or whatever happens. That's always fun. It makes it all worthwhile.
That is Tim Baker at Center Stage Theater in Biloxi. You never know who you might run into here in South Mississippi, and that's part of what we do with these Coast Life reports, is introduce you to unique people making big things happen here on the Mississippi coast. If you want to learn more about Center Stage Theater, they have the website right there. Just go to centerstagebiloxi.org and you can check out their production schedule as the Center Stage is entering its 50th season, and the sets you saw Baker working on there in that story was for this show here, Lend Me a Sperano, and that is coming up. You see the schedule here, September 12th through 22nd. You can see that show where that was the set that Baker was making there, and that's coming up September 12th through 22nd at Center Stage Theater in Biloxi. And thank you for joining us here tonight as we made a trip around South Mississippi and took a tour of our Coast Life and looked back on our stories that we had over the last month, in the month of August, on Coast Life. If you have any ideas for Coast Life stories, feel free to reach out to us at WLOX, either on our Facebook page, or you can always send us an email if you have an idea of someone who would make a good story and build it around that's doing something special here on the Mississippi coast. We want to feature that culture, activities, and of course the people behind those that make it all happen. So thanks for joining us tonight here at the WLOX Digital Desk. Remember, you can always follow us here on our digital platforms, both on WLOX.com, the news app, and also the apps on your smart TV. And when we're not breaking in here with this type of report or breaking news coverage or scheduled newscast throughout the day, we always have local news live playing with the national feed of news happening from around the country. So be sure to check that out. And thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Hugh Keeton, live in the WLOX newsroom.